Hey, my name is Thomas, and what we're doing today is another lens battle, this time about inexpensive, super fast manual focus standard lenses for your APS-C mirrorless camera such as Fuji. So I'm shooting Fuji, as you know. I've got the Fuji X-E4 and these two lenses might be perfect for that body. And the number one is the new TT Artisan 35 f/0.95 and number two is of course the venerable TT Artisan 35 f/1.4. Today we're just gonna compare them, and that means we're checking out number one, fit and finish. Are there any differences in size and weight and whatnot else? Number two, we do a sharpness comparison, direct comparison. And number three, we do of course the bokeh comparison. So without further ado, let's have a go. First, small disclaimer, the 35 f/1.4, I bought this lens from my own money like around 2 years ago when it was new, and in the meantime I even sold the lens because I just have too many lenses, but I was really missing it, so I got a second copy, and that's this one. And the 35 f/0.95, that was supplied to me by TT Artisan. I already did a review of that lens. Watch it there. And I also of course did a review of the old f/1.4. You can also see there, I'll put the links up there. If you're in the market for these lenses, check out those reviews because they're really more in-depth. I walk around, shoot these lenses, show a lot of sample shots and whatnot else. So in terms of handling, as you can see, both these lenses are super similar. They both have clicked aperture, they both have the nice hard stop focus at infinity. Again, why is this so important? If you happen to shoot landscapes or something that's really far away, you just you just focus to infinity, click, and you put it on f8 and you're done. It's like fixed focus. You don't need to worry about anything. Just shoot your landscape and it will always be sharp. Lenses that have a stepless aperture and no hard stop at infinity means you want to open the aperture to focus, then you are going to focus to some point that is not at a hard stop. Don't touch the focus after focusing, and then you have to, you don't have these clicks, so you can't just go to here. You can go from 0.95 all the way down to 16, and then 1-2 clicks is f11, 2 more clicks is f8, and now you're at f8. You can do all this while looking through the camera, and it's so much more convenient, believe me. For everyday shooting, clicked aperture and hard stop at infinity are very, very important if you're shooting a manual focus lens. And both these TT Artisan lenses have those features, and that's always why I like the lenses of this brand. Frankly, this lens is more lightweight. I think about 100 grams. This is 240 grams and this is maybe 150 or something. I put the number in the video. You feel that this is a little bit more heavy, but it's still absolutely not a heavy or a big lens. It's still a very small lens, and that makes this particular 0.95 very good as an everyday lens or walk-around lens. Even on the X-E4, it's not a heavy big lens. I appreciate that a lot. Having said that, this lens is the lightest you can get as a f1.4 lens, so if every gram matters to you, this lens is of course the winner in the terms of portability. Bokeh, yeah, well, you see the difference pretty clearly. f0.95, bigger background blur, bigger bokeh balls. And also they look a bit more quirky because the 0.95 has these, yeah, sort of soap bubble bokeh balls. They look pretty funky. It is a little bit a matter of fact. It can be overwhelming, it can be super cool, anything. The f1.4 is more neutral. You can stop down the 0.95 to 1.4, but then the bokeh balls already get some sort of, yeah, edges. Because of the 10-bladed aperture, the aperture is not designed to give the smoothest background blur on the 0.95 lens. So it's a little bit a matter of your personal appreciation, what you like more. And I can understand people that say the f1.4 looks a bit more neutral and you appreciate that, and the other one is a little bit wild. But the f0.95 is not just wild, but it can also be super entertaining. So it's a matter of personal preference, really. I can't give yes, better or worse here. So, as you can see, sharpness, the 35 f1.4 really kind of wins, but only in the more open apertures. So I would say at f1.4, the center sharpness is sort of similar between the two lenses. The 0.95 has the added advantage of 0.95. It is more soft at that aperture, but the other lens can't even shoot at 0.95, so that wouldn't be fair to compare. At f1.4, the centers are very similar. Towards the corners, I see a little bit of an advantage for the f1.4 lens. Also at f2, 2.8 and maybe f4, and then they both look pretty similar at f5.6 or f8. I would rate them both really good. Now the question is, does it matter? I mean, these are super fast lenses. I would say yes, because these are both all-round lenses as well. That means you're gonna shoot it, you're just gonna go on a trip or something, only this one camera and this one lens, and you're not gonna shoot everything at open aperture. Let's face it, during the day you want to shoot maybe cityscapes, landscapes, something with a depth of field, everything in focus even, yeah. And then it matters how good the lens is at f5.6 or f8, and there both lenses are very good. Oh, there's one more thing, and that is distortion. All these lenses show geometric distortion to some extent. I find that the f1.4 needs, if you put it in Lightroom, needs something like +6 to compensate, and this lens, the 0.95, needs like 10, sometimes 12 to compensate. So the 0.95 distorts more than the f1.4. In the end, if you're shooting architecture and there are really straight lines somewhere in your frame, you maybe want to use distortion compensation on both of these lenses, so maybe it doesn't matter so much, but the f1.4 wins here. One of the most interesting questions is, of course, how fast is this lens in real life? I already did the full comparison with the f1.4 lens in my review of the 0.95, and the bottom line is you gain about 0.8 f-stops in real life advantage. That means you shoot something at ISO 1000 with a 0.95 lens, you will shoot the same subject with ISO 1800 on the f1.4 lens. That's maybe a little bit less than you would expect from theory, but all these super fast lenses are like that. Keep in mind, the f0.95 is a geometric number. It doesn't say anything about the true transmission, and all these super fast lenses won't have like a full f-stop advantage over an f1.4 lens. So this is a very good performance of the TT Artisan 0.95 actually. And as you can see, we can film at night very easily at ISO 10,000 and 0.95. Yes, the lens is a little bit softer, but it can get the job done. And with an f1.4 lens, you would have needed something like ISO 18,000 for the same shot. Time for the verdict. So in handling, they're both the same. I give the nod to the f1.4 because it's even more lightweight. In fit and finish, they're both the same. This lens has the engraved numbers on it, which is maybe nicer, but also the quirky zebra finish that maybe not everyone likes. Again, it's a draw. In terms of bokeh balls, again a draw. Either you want the neutral look, then go for the 1.4. If you want more wild bokeh, more background blur, but also this funky look with the soap bubbles, then the 0.95 wins. And in terms of sharpness, the f1.4 wins. This lens is so sharp that I personally would never ever care to get another 35mm lens because of a lack of image quality. This lens is very good for landscape shots. It's reasonably sharp at open aperture for portrait shots, but it's certainly not a winner in sharpness at open apertures. So there is room for improvement with this one. So that brings me to the question, which one do you want to get? This lens, the 1.4, is like $80 new or 80 euros, something around that. I mean, prices always change a little bit. And this one is around 200. So clearly this is much more expensive. So the question is, do you like the quirky character and can you make use of the super fast aperture? This lens, yes, it is faster, almost a full f-stop in real life over this lens. So if it's really, really dark and you still want to shoot handheld, this lens wins. No question. But this is an f1.4. It's not that slow either. So In terms of price and performance, I tend to give this the nod, but this one's more exciting, more playful. So I can't tell you which one you have to get, but I hope that this video gives you an idea what to expect and where the advantages and disadvantages are for these lenses. There is one other lens I really want to mention to you. If you're looking for a 0.95 lens, you want a little bit more optical quality at open aperture, a little bit more sharpness, a little bit less quirky bokeh, then go for the 7 Artisans 35 f/0.95. I already made a review. Watch it there. It's a fantastic lens. It has pretty good quality at open aperture, and also when you stop down, it's a perfect landscape lens in terms of sharpness. The thing is that the 7 Artisans doesn't have the clicked aperture and not the hard stop at infinity. So for me personally, it doesn't matter when I'm shooting at 0.95, because then you have to focus anyway with your loop and everything, make it really perfect. And but if you want to use it as an everyday general purpose lens, the 7 Artisans is more time consuming. So I rather would say you get the 7 Artisans if you really only want to use it for one purpose and you have some other lenses that you carry every day, like maybe this one. But if you want it all in one lens, just a walk around lens with the ability to occasionally shoot at f/0.95, then this lens is for you. Did I forget anything? I hope not. I think all the differences between these lenses are covered now. I hope you found this interesting, maybe even useful. If you still got any questions and comments regarding these two lenses or the 7 Artisans 35, write something in the comment section below. I love to read all your comments, as you know. I will happily answer every single one of them. Also watch the individual reviews. I already put the links here in the video, and I also put them in the description. So that's it for today. And I hope you have a great time, live long and prosper, and I see you in the next video. Bye.